especially on this great occasion that is Father's Day. And we come together on Sunday mornings to just kind of take another look at our lives and reflect upon why we are here, what we are here to do, why we come together, and just look over everything that goes on in our lives, and just kind of analyze it, reanalyze it, and stay focused. Because, you know, it takes very little things, and it just takes it out of focus. And so we have the constant, task of pulling ourselves back to center and saying, it's all good, everything's cool, not a problem. So we come here on Sunday mornings to kind of help us in that. And we create this atmosphere of loving energy where we can just come together and share affirmations and prayers and music and laughter and learning together and all sorts of things. So we have a good time here on Sunday mornings. And I think you'll pick up, by the time everything's said and done at the end of the service, you're going to feel an entirely different energy that had just captivated the room. So welcome.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We offer a unique approach to spirituality. We're love-centered and all-inclusive. We embrace an open heart and an open mind. We're spiritual, not religious. We are a blending of Christianity, Eastern philosophy, science, transcendentalism.
That's the one. We're learning that word.
I was using my affirmative prayer to be able to say that.
Yeah.
And what's going on here? Okay. I'm loud enough. Okay. Back to the story. It's your turn.
Oh, it is. Thank you. See how organized we are here? I told you before, I used to have a lady down there when I was at Unity RTD. She'd always say that. She said, nobody can accuse us of being an organized religion. Anyway. And that was one example. But it's all good. Again, it's all good. We offer spiritual teachings that provide practical tools for a meaningful and abundant living. And we envision a spiritually transformed world. Wouldn't that be something? Let's start with a spiritually transformed America, right? And then we'll work on a bigger scale, but that's what we do.
All right. As an interspiritual community and divine love in expression, we draw from and honor all paths to spirit. We have no dogma or creed, though we do have 5 principles we draw from that formulate our philosophy. Our foundational belief is oneness. Our fundamental practice is living in the present moment. Please join me in affirming our mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, inspiring and empowering individual and global transformation as exemplified by the life and teachings of Jesus.
Once again, welcome Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. Our announcements for today.
Let's get metaphysical. Let's not get physical.
No, it's all good. See, I don't have to do a joke this morning because we're excited.
Well, let's get metaphysical.
Are we going to welcome new members?
This is the comedy hour for the week. Let's get metaphysical discussion group with there it is. With Reverend Tommy meets Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m. There will be no meeting on Wednesday, June 28th.
That's the following week. Yeah, and we did move it up a half hour because it's starting to get a little warm out there.
The book club meets on the 4th Tuesday of each month at the Lark and Owl at 10 a.m. The next meeting is Tuesday, June 27th, and the book will be the sequel to the one we just finished. Another book by Brian L. White, Fun and Fellowship is hosting a murder mystery party next Saturday. I want a bigger salary for this. June 24th from 2 to 4 here at the Oaks. Come in to help solve the mystery. Love offerings are encouraged and will go to the Spiritual Home Fund. The next two sessions from the Conference on Consciousness and Human Evolution, featuring Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden, are scheduled for 2 successive Saturdays in July, the 8th and the 15th from 1 to 4:30. And we are planning on scheduling new membership classes for August or early September. If you're new to Unity and would like to become a member of Unity Spiritual Center in Georgetown, please complete and submit a membership form. And please see Ann Kennedy if you can help her with getting Bob to his radiation treatments, which starts soon. Additionally, if there's anyone in the congregation, or if you know anyone with nursing skills who might be able to help out at home after his treatments, please let us know. And thank you everyone so much for your loving support of Ann and Bob. For additional information and to sign up, please visit our welcome table in the foyer. Check out your weekly e-newsletter, go to our website, or email Maria. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharia. Next, I'll be out the next 2 Sundays. Yeah, you get to take a break from me. Because I'm traveling up to Kansas City to the annual Unity Convention that takes place the following week. And as you know, I'm also on the regional board, so we're going to do a little bit of regional work at the same time. So I'll be 2 Sundays. Next Sunday, we'll have Reverend Steve Boland speak, because he'll be in town. And the Sunday after that, Therese will bless us with her lesson. I'm not sure what it is, but what was it? I forgot. Anyway.
It's about spiritual freedom.
Aha. So, you know, we like to start with a little bit of humor. I've got a couple to choose from. Yes, sir. Oh, anybody new here today for the first time? Well, Marcus, my son. Stand up, Marcus, don't be shy. Oh, I'm sorry, he's not my son, he's our son. I'm trying to adjust to that. So this is one that Alice Cooper sent me yesterday, I think, and I kind of liked it. It says, there was this older lady who was sipping on some wine while sitting on her patio with her husband, and out of the blue she says, I love you so much. I don't know what I would do without you. And the man says, that's a really nice thing for you to say, but is it you talking or the wine talking? And she looks at him and says, I'm talking to the wine. Let's rise and begin today's service.
Every day.
This is the way.
This is time.
This is time.
Let it shine.
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 Waiting till the last reverberation. Now I will light the 3 candles that represent the law of divine order: mind, idea, and expression. Divine mind is the source of everything that ever is or will be. It's the realm of infinite possibility. And when we align ourselves with divine mind, we're inspired with ideas, and we bring them into expression and manifest them through our thoughts, words, and actions. And in this way, we become co-creators with God. And now we have another song. Oh,
Children.
oh, the children first. I'm sorry. Shawea, you started this. Please join me in affirming together our prayer of intention. Living Spirit opens our minds, opens our hearts, touches us all deeply with love, and sends us out as agents, agents of love, agents of peace, agents of justice. Amen. Amen. And now we send out our children, our agents of love, as they go out for their Sunday schools. Everyone notice how just beautiful they all look today, as always, but look at those darling outfits. And now we'll sing another song.
That's a different song. Hold on. It's no centering out here. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lives in me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lives in me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lives in me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lives in me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lives in me. When I was feeling lonely, Spirit lives in me. When I was feeling lonely, Spirit lives in me. When I was feeling lonely, Spirit lives in me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lives in me.
Now please join me in affirming affirming together our unity statement of being and our vision statement. There is only one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotence. Centered in God, we co-create a world of love, peace, and abundance.
Shaware, daily word, please.
There's some kind of woo-woo energy going on in this place today. Yes, I'll do it. So the daily word for today is blessing for fathers. Today I bless and give heartfelt thanks for my father and the men who were fatherly figures to me. Their protecting presence, wise guidance, and caring instruction have helped make me the person I am today. I bless my father and those who shared a father's love and care with prayers of appreciation for my memories throughout all the seasons of my life. Through good times and bad, I see God expressing through my father and the men who have shown me fatherly love. I bless them with prayers of gratitude, affirming they know the love and care of God as they have shown it so generously and faithfully to me. And the scripture is from Ephesians. And fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Today's affirmation is, I bless my father and the men who have shown me fatherly kindness. Please repeat this with me twice. I bless my father and the men who have shown me fatherly kindness. I bless my father and the men who have shown me fatherly kindness.
Dan's mic.
We're so happy to have Rosemary's daughter up here.
In this house of love, we come together, one with spirit in our hearts.
In this house of love, we are connected, we are perfected in God's light, and we shine, yes we shine, as bright as the stars above, and we shine, yes we shine in this house of love.
In this house of love, we are family, brothers and sisters in this world.
In this house of love, we seek the wisdom that tells us the truth, and we're sure, and we shine, yes we shine, as bright as the stars up above, and we shine, yes we shine in this house of love.
Before we have our time of prayer today, I'd just like to do a little addendum to the Daily Word. Some of us, the Daily Word said that we are honoring fathers and men today, and yes, we are. But we have both masculine and feminine traits within us, each of us. And the person in your life who showed you the fatherly attributes that we know as strength, leadership, guidance, might also have come from a woman. And so I want to include all people who expressed those masculine, strong traits in your life and honor them today as well. So now we breathe and center ourselves in the peace of God as we pray together. And we know that God is everywhere present, that wherever we are, God is. But there are times when we find it hard to hear that still, small voice because we're overwhelmed or distracted by the busyness of our lives. So we become quiet, open our hearts, and we hear God's voice everywhere. God is always speaking to us, guiding us, comforting us, and encouraging us. God speaks to us in the sound of birdsong in the morning, in the words of compassion from a good friend or loved one, in a child's laughter, in beautiful music like the music we've heard this morning. Or maybe even in a word or phrase we read in a book or hear in a podcast. God's voice is always as close as a whisper in our ears. So we affirm, I am attuned to the voice of God within and all around me, and I listen gratefully. And we know also that God's voice speaks in the hearts of anyone that we're holding in prayer today. And we pray for all people who are experiencing hardship, illness, or lack. And we especially hold in the light those in our congregation and their loved ones who are overcoming health challenges. We know they hear God's voice through our loving prayers for comfort and healing as we say their names loud or silently in our hearts now. And now we close this time of prayer by singing together an ancient prayer, a prayer that was handed down through the ages that affirms God's realm here in earth as it is in heaven, the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory,
Well, today is Sir Paul McCartney's birthday. And so our spiritual practice is going to be inspired by one of his most well-known songs, Let It Be. And in case you hadn't noticed, Sir Paul is with us today, and he's going to be joining our musical team, and he looks pretty good for 85, don't you think? In his book, The Lyrics, Paul says that he got the idea for the song Let It Be from a dream that he had about his mom, Mary. It was the end of the 1960s, a very stressful, intense time for Paul and the Beatles. Their future was uncertain. And in Paul's dream, his mother came to him and said, "Everything will be all right. Let it be." So I think of Let It Be as the perfect affirmation for mindfulness. When we're being mindful, we're fully present in the moment that's happening right now, aware of where we are, what we're feeling and thinking, not allowing whatever is happening to upset or overwhelm us. We can simply let it be, knowing that all conditions are temporary and that all will be well. And saying let it be is not the same as saying I give up or what's the use. It's not passive submission, it's intentional choice. It empowers us to choose how we will be in any situation, not letting our emotions like fear or anger dictate our words and actions. So we insert a pause that allows our higher self to get into the driver's seat. And you might want to think of let it be as kind of a shorthand for the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Let it be. So the lyrics also tell us there will be an answer, and those are such true words. All the answers to any question that you could possibly have already exist in God mind in potential. So if you had one of those nights where you're awake, your thoughts are keeping you awake, churning about something, tough decision you have to make, maybe a scary medical diagnosis, maybe a troubled relationship, imagine someone you trust, somebody who loves and cares for your well-being, comes to you and says, there will be an answer, let it be, and then go to sleep peacefully. So now let's relax and become centered for our time of meditation. And if there's something on your mind, you may want to bring to mind a situation that's weighing on your heart. Or maybe there's a person that you're feeling concerned or worried about. Just silently affirm, let it be, as you gently release your fears and trust that all things work for good. And you'll know to bring your attention back when Dan begins to sing a very special song.
Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom.
Y'all can sing along. Let's sing along.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be a sun. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
Yeah. Kind of like get out of the way, the universe will take care of it for you. Discover the Power Within You, Part 8. Man, it's just a fabulous book, and I'm just getting close to the end. So this chapter is called Jesus' Formula for Healing. During the welcome part of the service, we say this: we are a blending of Christianity, Eastern philosophy, science, transcendentalism, and affirmative prayer based on the power of the mind. Why do we say that? Because we offer a unique approach to spirituality. And the blending of these different views is the reason why. Briefly, the various contributions are these. From the Eastern philosophies, we get the concept of a non-anthropomorphic God, one that is not a being so much as it is beingness. And this also aligns with our idea of oneness. From science, or I should say really new science, we get the idea that matter is simply energy or spirit in form, that has taken form. Also reinforces oneness. From transcendentalism, we get the idea of God being in all and all being in God. The transcendental aspect of God as principle, this eternal beingness, truly and completely universal, and of course also about oneness. While these are the factors, the two most obvious or most dominant in our views are Christianity and the power of the mind. And I'll get back to both of those in just a minute. Another thing I keep repeating, and hopefully this is all getting in place, is that the early Christian movement, there were two directions in which Christianity could have gone. One was about the life of Jesus, and the other was a story about Jesus that Paul, as an apocalyptic Jew and Christianity's greatest promoter, held and propagated. If you're not familiar with the word apocalyptic, it was a very common belief at the time, and we've talked about that. It really comes from Zoroastrianism, and it's the whole idea that when man, Adam and Eve, disobeyed God, then the forces of evil took over the world, and they've been in charge of the world the whole time. Thus, all the chaos and this, that, and the other. And there will come a time when God will say, enough is enough. Step in. There'll be a big battle between good and evil, and of course, good will ultimately win out, and God will establish kingdom on earth, and that story. That is apocalypticism. Anyway, so there were many different sects let's say Jesus followers at the time, many, and they had a wide range of views. Paul's was simply one of them. To Paul's credit, though, had not been for Paul, Christianity would have gone the way of all the other sects into oblivion, because he was the one who promoted. The downside of it is that Christianity that we got was really about Paul and not about Jesus so much. Consequently, when you go to most Christian churches today, you don't hear too much about the teachings of Jesus. It's about the message of the cross. And again, that's consistent with Paul's theology. Somewhere along the way, I have heard this. It's not that Christianity doesn't work. It's that it's never been tried. That is until Unity and the New Thought movement, which we are a part of, the New Thought movement. But a lot of people don't know about this version of Christianity, in which we have more emphasis on Jesus than on Paul. Now listen to this quote from the book, A New Thought, A Practical American Spirituality by Alan Anderson and Deborah Whitehouse. It says, "New Thought is what all Christianity could have become if it had been able to avoid the stultifying tendencies needed to become a religion capable of competing with other outlooks for the title of official religion of the Roman Empire. It is what all Christianity could have become if it had been allowed the freedom of belief concentrating on following the loving, healing, forgiving example of Jesus rather than developing a rigid superstructure about Jesus." That is a big distinction. Now, I bring all this up because that is how the chapter begins. Eric Butterworth says this: "There is a strange paradox in Christianity today. While Jesus healed all manner of diseases and left some amazingly clear concept by which we can follow him in the practice of healing by spiritual means, it is rare today to find a Christian church which stresses spiritual healing, if it will admit even to the possibility." Now, why is that? Here's what he says. "In the doctrine of the divinity of Jesus, there is no room for a healing principle. Jesus' miracles would be degraded if they could be duplicated. So the great rationalization that sickness is God's will was developed, and the entire human race bought into it. We're born, we grow old, we get sick, and we die. That's the formula. When we all believe it, bought right into it. And the book reminds us that fully 1/3 of Jesus' record of ministry is about healing. In other words, we have missed Jesus' true message, his real purpose. But he said this, that makes him, in Unity we say, Jesus is the great example, not the great exception, because he himself said so. He said, "The works that I do, you shall do, and greater works shall you do." Now, shall you do, he says. He's not saying, hopefully, maybe someday you'll be able to do it. Or, if you're lucky, you'll be able to do it. And he did not say, if you follow me, or if you believe in me, the person Jesus, you'll be able to do it. He said you shall do it. There's no qualifications for it. You will do it. And the question is, when? And the answer is, when we change our consciousness, when we know that we can do it, that we have that potential in us that he had. No different. I had an interesting dream on Friday. I hadn't had it in a while. But I've had them a lot of times about flying. And somebody asked me, and I said, well, I can fly. And they said, what? I said, I can fly. What do you mean what? And it happens to me all the time. And I just go like this, and I just start flying. I mean, not like Superman flying. I mean, just kind of like floating, really, more than anything else. And they look at me and they say, how do you do that? And I always say the same thing. I don't know. I just do it. Same way that I walk. I just do it. And it's a very strange thing. But this is what, it just keeps telling me personally that there is something in there And it's going to come out one of these days. I'm telling you, I am going to levitate one of these days. That is my life's goal. Even just to come on, just a little bit. But Jesus knew the truth of who we truly are and of our truly infinite potential. And you stop to think about this vast universe, and we are in it, and we are not separate from it. We're made of the same stuff, of everything. We're no different from anything else, fundamentally. We're different only in the way we are expressing ourselves, and that's all. So what happened was, the early church, in order to elevate Jesus to the status of God's only Son and the divinity, they also took the step of degrading us, everybody else, and making us sinners, to ensure that there's a nice, big, very clear gap between us and heaven and everything else. But that's not true. And that's the essence of the book. Discover the power that is within all of us, okay? So next time somebody asks you, well, what's the difference in unity? You say, well, one big one is what I always say, that we teach oneness. Everything is one. And the other one is that we see Jesus as the great example and not the great exception, because he told us so. And we're going to get there. You know, if that doesn't make sense to him, tell him this. Well, let me ask you a question. Is God everywhere present? Yes or no? And everybody will say, of course God is everywhere present. Then you just say that to them. Well then, what else is there but God then? Nothing, including you. It's very simple. So God is this infinite expression. Remember that Jesus commanded his disciples to go out and preach and to heal people. He told them, you can do it. Now, why would he have said that if he didn't think they had the potential? And they did. And remember, Peter walked on water. You know, that little story when he said, who are you? And he said, it's me. He said, oh, and he told him, just get out of the boat and walk. Go. And he did. It took, I don't know how many steps, 3 or 4 maybe, and then he realized, oh, what am I doing? And then straight down. As soon as doubt came in, straight down. And you know, this reminds me of Unity co-founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Because when Myrtle was sick, you know, Charles was a skeptic. I mean, he was more of a heady, scientific, loved all this, really, really studious type of a guy. And so he doubted it. But when he saw that she got TB, and that was a death sentence back then. And so when it took her years, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but when he saw that she was able to do this, his logical mind said, well, if one can, then everyone can. And it's true. I think I've talked about that. Remember the 4-minute mile thing I brought up a long time ago? It took, 150 years to break the 4-minute mile, and within the next 2 years, they've been broken like 8-9 times. Because that limitation had been shattered, that nobody can run faster than a 4-minute mile. And once we broke that idea, then it's been broken a gazillion times since. It's crazy. Butterworth writes, Jesus was not a magician, and his ministry simply fulfilled the divine law of a higher level than anyone has before or since. The miracles, healings, were not only evidence of Jesus' divinity, they were evidence of the divinity of man, of all of us. Because in the model of the universe, where we are all one, then we all have access to everything. It's as simple as that. And the difference is in our awareness only, not in our potential. Which is why we are told that the truth will set us free, because when we understand that, we will be liberated from our false and limiting thinking. And we all need work. You know, I saw somewhere I saw that. If you still need work, it's because you're still here. So if you're still here, that's because you're working on it. So let's keep working on it. The book tells us religion has constantly given us the promise of salvation in the afterlife. But it has sadly neglected giving us any practical, useful knowledge by which we can live this life in health and success and happiness. We're not So we're not living in unity. We're not about living for the future. I said that. That's why we don't say, you got to come to service on Sunday, otherwise you can't secure your ticket to paradise. Because the ticket's already given. It's about improving the situation in the here and now. It's about living in the here and now, because there is nothing but the here and now. Always, wherever you are, you're going to be in the here and the now. Always. There is no future. Because the future gets here, guess what? It's the here and now. And that's how it works. So there you have it. We're living in a broken system handed down to us by people of an entirely different level of consciousness, and we bought into that. I kind of let it go. I do not, and I think you do too. You do not longer buy into that consciousness. And so, let me get back briefly to our two main influences, Christianity and the power of the mind. Because as I said earlier, it has never been tried, Christianity, but unity and the New Thought movement are trying it. So, the whole thing, the quick setup, the 1800s, right? The 1800s, America was a new country with a new vision of this idealistic country in which everybody lives freely and everybody has equal rights. That was a strange idea for the time. It's a strange idea for now, for most people. And then there was scientific revolution. The Newtonian physics had just been discovered and all this stuff was going on. And Myrtle, she was a very devout Methodist. She was a very deeply spiritual person. And when she heard about the New Thought movement and all the stuff that was going on, the power of mind, she found out that there was a lecture in town. And so she went and heard someone say, I am a child of God. I do not inherit illness. Period. And she said, wow, that hit her like a ton of bricks. And she went home and started talking to her body. To every cell, to every organ, he said, I'm sorry, forgive me for having doubted you. And she did this over and over for months until she was cured. And so, as a devout Christian, because she was totally into the Bible. She started seeing the similarity and pattern between what the New Thought movement was talking about, healing and the power of the mind, and what Jesus had done. Because, well, just think about it. What was Jesus' formula for his method of healing? He always said, be it done to you as you believe. Your faith, which is your beliefs, have made you well. So she realized that the key to the formula of healing was in our beliefs. How do we believe? It took us 2,000 years to finally start practicing Jesus' version of Christianity. But that's what we're working on now. We've discovered that we've had the key all along. And for those of us like me who like to bring science and spirituality all melted together, now we're seeing the scientific community and these conferences that we're going to talk about are reaffirming all that. They're just coming together. It's the different words, same message. Bruce Lipton, the first presenter, he has a book, and I have a lesson. I think I did it when I first got here. It's called The Biology of Beliefs. That's the name of the book. The Biology of Beliefs. And that says that your beliefs affect your biology, all the way down to every cell. And so we're going to see through that, because it takes us back to that one powerful message in the Bible. He who is within is greater than he who is in the world. I could keep going back to that because it's so clear. It's saying that he, which is consciousness, spirit, energy, whatever you want to call it, that is in us, is greater than the manifest world. And why? Because it is that the consciousness is what determines what is manifested. So of course it's in control. So we got to think backwards and say, oh, it's the consciousness. So the whole thing is about, it's just about this. It is a simple, not so simple matter of changing what we believe, and thus changes what we manifest. This is the formula for Jesus' healing. Be it done to you as you believe. Can I have some music now, please? So let's take a few moments now for contemplation of today's message. I want to ask you if you're comfortable, just close your eyes for a moment. Take a few deep breaths and just become aware of the moment, of everything. And completely submerge yourself in this moment right now and in these words and the meaning of these words. We open our hearts and our minds so that we can begin or continue the process of transformation, of changing the way that we see life and ourselves. We are reminded by the Master Jesus that we have the power to heal everything about us. If we will but believe, we have that power. And I invite you to find a mantra which you can repeat for yourself over and over and over, so we can start to reprogram ourselves from these beliefs that lie in our subconscious minds and powerfully send messages to our conscious mind about all the false and limiting beliefs that we've been told in the past. They're not true. And so, work yourself in a little, I've got one, and then I'll share it with you. I always say, I'm living in peace, prosperity, and perfect health. I'm living in peace, prosperity, and perfect health. I'm living in peace, prosperity, and perfect, all over and over and over until it sinks in. So I invite you to find some words that resonate with you and just repeat them on a daily basis. Remind yourself that you are a powerful being of some sort of, not a being, but in a being in the external expression, but beingness from the center. And in that beingness, there's power to do anything you want. And so it is.
Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a an open door. It invites you to come closer. It wants to give you more. And if you feel in trouble and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through. Oh, love to some is like a cloud, to some as strong as steel. For some a way of living, for some the way you feel. And some say love is holding on, and some say letting go. And some say love is everything, and some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like an ocean, full of conflict, full of change. Fire when it's cold outside, thunder when it rains. If I should live forever and all my dreams come true, my memories of love will be of you. And some say love is holding on, and some say letting go. And some say love is everything, and some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like an ocean, full of conflict, full of change. Like a fire when it's cold outside, or thunder when it rains. If I should live
is back. That's Tom Horn and Shonda Burge. By the way, Ms. Shonda, I guess, has a new gig downtown Austin or something, right? Can you tell us about it? I mean, I'm glad that you did. Huh?
So last week I sang at a club down in Austin called Parker Jazz Club, and I'll be singing at a different club, the 30th. It's called Monks. So I'll let you know. It's gonna be on the 30th. But I'll let you know.
Wonderful. So this is the time of the service when we offer our tithes and our gifts to our community, so we can keep going forward and spreading this message of who we truly are. This deep, powerful beings with all the power in the world to heal ourselves and everyone else around us. So we take our tithes in our hands and together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God.
Everything I see, everything I do is blessed by your hand, God. I give it back to you. Everything I give, every thought that's true is magnified in kind God. I'll give it back to you.
Send our energy forth to these tithes and offerings, and together we bless and dedicate these tithes and offerings as an expression of divine love, and we release them to manifest that love in our community and in our world. So now is the time we bring our children back, and they can tell us all about what they did today. Okay, Olivia.
So, today we were talking
About the 12 powers.
yeah, about the 12 powers, the disciples and stuff. And we have this little sheet with like where the powers or disciples are in your body and how they help you or what abilities they have. And then we had Donna Sue brought cards that had sound with them, like they had a QR code on them, that had different like crystal bowl sounds, and that was really relaxing. And Ari wants to talk about the rest.
Okay, go ahead, Ari. The other direction.
So we made little windmills today. We made windmills today.
Hold it up so they can see it.
Hold it up.
We made windmills today.
Thank you. Roxy, you want to say anything?
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
good?
And we read a book that's called Dear God, and we always read like a page of that every day, and we had some really good lessons today with that.
Great. Thank you.
Deborah Keel, you're here today? Deborah Keel? Deborah?
Keely, I think.
Keely? Can you see Patrick? Patrick, where's
was-
Patrick?
He just stepped out from there.
He just stepped out. Can you come and see me or Patrick right after the service, please? Okay. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. It's okay. Just come see us.
Debbie, please report to the principals of affairs.
So, we're going to bless the children now. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ you are. So today's chaplain is Therese, and we'll have Let's Get Metaphysical on Wednesday. And I will see you all in 3 Sundays from now. Or actually Saturday, the one before, because that's when we have that little first of the convention things that we meet here on Saturday afternoon. So we'll see you around. Let's end with our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am. And all is well. Have a blessed week and happy Father's Day.